Another difficulty was clarifying complicated terminology that the U.S. military uses in describing its various units. They use the official designation of the unit, such as the U.S. Army Special Forces Operational Detachment Alpha. The formal acronym for these units is SF/ODA. This is routinely shortened by soldiers to ODA. Each ODA has an identifying number, such as ODA 555, featured in this story. This team, because of its unique number, is nicknamed Triple Nickel. These two designations are used interchangeably by Army personnel in discussing the team. In addition, when deployed in the field, each ODA team is assigned a radio call sign. In Afghanistan, all the call signs for the ODA teams were in a series that began with the word Texas. ODA 555 might be Texas 10, another one Texas 12. Soldiers also used a team's call sign when talking about that team. I hope that I've managed to keep all this straight in the text. Finally, I have included accounts of events in which I was not directly involved. In all cases, I gathered the details for these portions of the manuscript by personal conversations with the participants and from a review of the written accounts of those activities submitted in the immediate aftermath of the events. In some cases, I have taken liberties with dates and have consolidated events to provide a tighter narrative. But in all cases, I have strived to keep these accounts as true to the individual reflections and memories of the participants as possible. I also tried very hard to present these episodes in the style and manner that the participants used in their conversations when retelling these events. While some of the events recounted here may differ slightly from what actually took place on a given date and time, I believe I have captured in an honest and accurate manner the events and actions of the brave officers involved. Any inaccuracies in detail are mine, but let no one doubt the heroism and bravery of the men described in this story. Prologue. 9 September 2001. The small travel alarm chirped Khalili awake. It was 6 a.m., and he had fallen asleep less than 4 hours earlier. The night before, Ahmed Shah Massoud, the commander, as Khalili always called him, had wanted to talk, and when the formal meeting broke up, he kept Khalili behind. They discussed the future. The commander was worried. The Taliban had pressed back Massoud's Shura-Nazar, Northern Alliance, slowly but steadily over the past 5 years, until they controlled barely 10% of the country, the mountainous northeast corner of Afghanistan, centered on the Panjshir Valley. "Time is on the side of the enemy," the commander said. With the Taliban receiving assistance from the Pakistanis and Osama bin Laden, they would gain strength over time. The Shura-Nazar stood alone, with only a bare minimum of assistance being provided by Iran, India, and the Russians. The future looked grim. The Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, wanted the commander to help capture bin Laden. He would be happy to do it, but could not, because his force was bottled up behind their defensive lines here in northern Afghanistan. Khalili reminded the commander that the CIA did not make policy for the U.S. government. Their job was to provide intelligence that helped shape policy. But one day the United States would change its policy toward Afghanistan and the Shura-Nazar. It would have to, with bin Laden becoming more and more of a problem. The commander was not completely convinced, but he agreed that the relationship with the CIA was important. He just needed to find a way to press them for a significant increase in assistance. Khalili hurried out of bed and dressed. The commander would already be sitting down to a light breakfast. Khalili wished he had time to shower, but the commander had insisted that he join him for morning tea. During this brief visit, the 2 days in Dushanbe, then yesterday here in Panjshir, the commander had been unusually attentive, wanting to be with Khalili to sit and talk together. It was somewhat unusual, for although they were close friends, the commander was usually so focused on business that their time one-on-one was rare. As Khalili slipped into his jacket, there was a knock at the door, and then it opened. The commander stood there smiling. "I thought I would find you still sleeping. Come on, let's talk over tea. There's much to discuss before we fly to Dushanbe." He walked into the room and stood a few feet from Khalili. "You never sleep, Commander. How can I keep up with you?" Khalili smiled at him. The commander looked worn, and he had aged these past few years.